Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, sounding the alarm on China. He says Beijing is ramping up its military aggression, even harassing American aircraft. Let's bring in General Jack Keane. General, always great to see you. Okay, so Mark Milley says that not only has China's military become more aggressive, that China is conducting, quote, dangerous intercepts against American military aircraft and also ships, among other allied nations. So just how dangerous, if you could tell us, is China?
Well, certainly, China is the most rapid-growing military in the world today. And in the Pacific region, due to the 9/11 wars and also declining budgets during the Obama administration, our military deterrence has significantly eroded to the point where the Chinese have an advantage. And what Milley is talking about, the chairman of Joint Chiefs here, is the fact that under President Xi, now 10 years under his control, the aggressiveness of China as it pertains to Taiwan and Taiwan's allies in the region, the United States, Japan, Australia, has increased significantly. So much so, it's much more than just harassment and coercion, which is what it started out to be, to try to get Taiwan to buckle, to voluntarily become a part of China. That's failed miserably. But it's also practice and rehearsal. And that is what's got the chairman's concern, because the scale of these exercises, Julie, have increased rather dramatically, which is the drumbeat closer to war. That's what his concern is.
Here's what General Milley said to reporters yesterday. I want your reaction on this. He says, you know, the number of Chinese intercepts at sea and in the air has increased significantly over 5 years. The message is the Chinese military have become significantly more and noticeably more aggressive in this particular region. My question to you is whether President Biden's policies are actually able to keep China at bay militarily.
Well, there's a couple things the administration has done that's very good. They took what Trump was doing and strengthening the allies and partners, particularly the Quad alliance, Japan, Australia, United States, and India, and have strengthened that and had meetings associated with that. So exercises and working together has taken place as a result of. They've also strengthened the relationship with our other allies and partners in the region, and much of his visit out there is just literally about that. He's going to meet with all the chiefs of the military in that entire region in Sydney, Australia, later this week. So that's a good thing. What we haven't done, in my mind, rapidly enough, is actually strengthen the position of Taiwan and also in the region when it pertains to U.S. capability. And what the concern is here is that, you know, President Xi, who's going to be enshrined here in the fall of this year for a third term, likely indefinitely, I believe the clock may be moving closer to aggressive military action against Taiwan as opposed to being later. And why is that? One, because he knows, Julie, he's got a military advantage right now. And eventually that military advantage will be closed by the United States. Two, he has some economic setbacks now, but they're due to get worse. So I think we're getting into a much more dangerous moment.
I want to switch gears just for a second. I got to touch on Ukraine, Russia. Sunday, National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby admitted that the U.S. is actually considering the possibility of providing fighter jets to Ukraine. This is the sort of assistance that Ukraine has wanted since day one. The United States was reluctant to do that. So does this give Ukraine a military edge over Russia? And, you know, remember originally when the United States was asked to assist, we didn't because we didn't want to provoke Russia. Do we no longer care about provoking Russia? What has changed?
Yeah, well, you put your finger right on it. I mean, this is something we should have done from the outset the first time that they asked for it. They knew full well that the MiGs that they were flying, very similar to, obviously, Russia's, they're made in Russia, which their pilots are familiar with, they're going to take casualties, which they have. And they were forecasting that and said, we're going to need some backups here. Remember, they initially wanted the MiGs from other countries, and we wouldn't help them with that. And now, finally, we made this decision. Yes, it does send a message that the Biden administration is not as spooked as they were about provoking Russia. But it'll take months for this to become a reality because they have to train them on different airplanes. And even for our pilots, that takes a couple of months to transition. Likely for theirs, 3 or 4 months. But look, it is a good decision, Julie. It's just coming a little late.
Yeah, you could say that again. General Jack Keane, always great to see you. Thank
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments.